It's Thursday, first pitch, and I'm the Prez, Lawrence Presman, co-founder of WagerTalk.com. Drew Martin with us today, guesting in, and of course my regular co-host, all in black, Dave Cokin, on a 6-1 run. Dave called Colorado last night. Way to go.
Yeah, it's pretty good right now. So we'll keep on following the process and hope it continues.
Drew, what's going on with you, my friend?
Doing all right. Not as hot as 6-1 like Dave, but I up about 18% ROI since May 1st in baseball. So overall, seeing it pretty well. Hopefully grab a couple more winners today.
Nice. Excellent, guys. Small card today, moving day in baseball, and we're going through them one at a time. Dave, let's start with Philadelphia against Washington. Max Scherzer last night, hell of a night. The legend of Max continues to grow. Jake Arrieta pitched well, too. Washington with a 2-0 win. Today, Washington is favored very slightly, minus 120. Big total in the National League, over 10.5. Pivetta versus Feed. Dave?
Eric Fetty.
What do you like in this game?
It's Eric Fetty.
Fetty.
He's a UNLV guy, so we want his name pronounced correctly on this show.
Okay.
He's coming along. And Fetty is kind of a protege of Max Scherzer. He's trying to incorporate he's never going to have Scherzer's stuff, but Scherzer's mentality. And Scherzer is as bulldog as it gets, which he showed last night again. Guy's phenomenal. Big move on this game, though. The money's on Philadelphia, and seeing it now in the 110 range, I don't know that I agree with that. And part of the reason is the big problem for the Nationals this year has been the bullpen. Just absolutely horrible. Cost them a lot of games early. But the bullpen is starting to pitch better. Doolittle's pretty reliable, at least as long as he's there and not traded. This kid Rainey they brought up from the minors, he's a strike thrower and a pretty effective pitcher. Suero's still back and forth. But this Washington team is playing better right now. In Philadelphia, quite frankly, isn't, in my opinion. I think the Nationals, at this price, Nationals would offer a little bit of value.
I agree with you, Dave. I mean, they've won 3 in a row. They've beat Philly twice. They've won 7 of their last 10. And, there's no reason to get in their way right now. I think they're seeing it. I think they're making a nice comeback, getting themselves into the thick of things. I'm with you on that. I like Washington. Drew, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, sidewise, I like Washington, but I look at this more from the totals perspective. The Phillies have a 1.307 OPS versus Fetty, and on the other side, the Nationals have a 1.18 team OPS versus Pivetta. So I think both of these lineups see the opposing pitchers very well. It is a smaller sample size, but still they're seeing it well. So I would look for both lineups to do very well. Both these bullpens can give it up as well. So I would look towards the over in this game.
He's Drew Martin. I'm the Prez. Dave Cokin with us. You're watching First Pitch every day, 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, up at our YouTube channel, Wager Talk TV. Same with iTunes and many other places. Dave, let's talk the Yankees, Houston. Houston, man, they're on a 4-game losing streak. They got swept by Cincinnati with all 3 games going under the total. I think Cincinnati's on a 15-1 run to the under right now. New York Yankees on fire. What else is new? They've won 5 in a row. The home team here, the Yanks, are favored, and it's a pretty big number against a Houston team, minus 130, 135. Over and under is 10. I actually lean on the under in this game. Valdez versus Green. Valdez has pitched outstanding this year. And Green is an opener, if you will. Dave, I like the under. What do you think?
Yeah, Green will pitch probably 2 innings. They'd like to get 2 out of him. In his last start, he struck out everybody he faced. So he seems to have gotten his command back. He was really struggling, and then he got hurt. But Green is a very capable reliever, and in this role, he can do well. And then after that, the Yankees, I'm not sure where they'll go after that. It could be Hale. Depending on how the game goes, you'll have the good Yankee late inning pitchers, or if they're behind, they'll just mail it in at that point. The Astros not coming in good form. The Yankees are playing really well. They're getting bodies back, and they've got a lineup that just downright scary against left-handers. So I think the line opened 135. It's dropped a little bit. I'm not sure I agree with that. I made the Yankees about 140 here, so a lean at least to the Yankees side.
Drew, yeah, I mean, the Yankees batting lineup, vicious. Now they've got Edwin in there. Real tough to stop them from scoring. And they put up 12, 6, 3, 10, and 8 in their last 5 games. Houston's, though, struggling to score right now. 7 runs in their last 4 games. Where are you going in this one?
Yeah, you guys both bring up great stats as far as the teams are going in opposite directions right now. Houston's getting healthier as well, but it still hasn't changed the fact getting Altuve back. There's just not the pop in the lineup. I think there's something wrong there offensively. Plus the fact Valdez, he is good, top-line pitcher, but he's a young guy. This is only his 8th career start. He's going into Yankee Stadium against a lineup that rakes lefties. And Dave brought up the fact that the market's pushing it lower, minus 128 now is low. I just think it's a cheaper price to buy on the Yankees. I like the Yanks tonight at home.
There you go, 2 Yanks and the under. Dave, let's talk Toronto Blue Jays. This team's an absolute mess. They've lost 3 in a row to the Angels. They got walloped last night, 11-6. They've lost 7 of their 10 of their last 10, and there's really no end in sight. Suarez versus Ricard. Clayton just pitching just terrible. 12 innings pitched in his last 3 outings, 10 ERA. Home team is plus 130. The over and under is 10.5. I think this game's going to go over tonight, Dave. Where do you lean sidewise?
Well, it's Clayton Richard. He's not French-Canadian.
Yeah, he's French-Canadian to me. He's a Ricard.
Ricard.
Maybe you'd do better if his name was Ricard. He's a shop
Canadian Ricard.
He's just a shop-worn lefty who's bounced around. He's basically, filling a roster spot on a really bad baseball team. I don't have a lot of faith in Suarez at this point. I think he's a decent prospect for the Angels, but he's still got command issues. And the Blue Jays might be able to work some walks and get some runs in this baseball game. But the Angels are a bit of a machine right now. They're feeling good about themselves. Toronto's just awful. They're ahead of the Orioles. Whoopee. The price looks about right to me. You're not going to get any bargains on the Halos at this point. 150 looks like the right price. That's about where it is. So, it does look like the Angels are going to win the game, but I would not be real excited about laying that price on the road.
Drew, I agree with Dave. I think Toronto will be able to put some runs on the board. They put up 6 last night, 1 before 5 and 12. So they are hitting the ball, and that's why, I like the over.
Yeah, I wouldn't talk you off the over at all. And you bring up Clayton Richard or Richard, whatever way you want to say it.
Ricard.
Ricard. Roll
wait
the
a minute.
R's.
If you're going to do the French-Canadian, there's no K in there. It'd be Richard. Like Maurice Richard, Henri Richard, the rocket in the pocket rocket.
You're aging yourself, Dave.
Ricard is, come on. It's Richard. You're from Canada, and you don't know how to pronounce that?
No.
Maurice Richard's one of the greatest players in the history of the NHL.
Yeah.
The same way. So if you're going to go with the French-Canadian thing, at least get Richard, not Ricard. Ricard.
Okay, Drew.
Yeah, I mean, whatever we want to refer to him as, Clayton Richard. I remember his days back in San Diego. I don't have the stats in front of me, but he's got to be one of the least profitable starters in the last decade for Major League Baseball. If you've been fading this guy, you've been making money in all of his starts. So no way I'm going to bet Toronto just because I think he gets blown up. Like Dave was saying, this Angels lineup and you, Prez, with Ohtani, Trout, that they're really getting after it. So I could see them putting up some crooked numbers. I would look towards the over, and actually, if you made me bet a side, I would be on the Angels, but like both of you referred to, I think it is a little bit too pricey on the road.
By the way, after last night, got to figure the over and under on walks issued to Mike Trout today, 2.5.
Yeah, it's going to get worse too, Dave. I mean, it's going to get out of control.
Oh, boy, I mean, he just crushed it last night.
Yeah, when all's said and done, I mean, he's going to be walked top 3 ever.
Yeah, and with good reason.
Of course.
He's one of the best players of all time.
Miami Marlins playing against St. Louis. St. Louis minus 190 to 200. The over and under is 8. St. Louis won last night 2-1. Pitching duel. Tonight we've got Wainwright versus Gallen, or Gallant, if you will. Gallant has nothing up for the season. Wainwright, inconsistent but pitching okay. Where are we going, Dave?
Well, a lot to talk about here with Zach Gallen, who has seen his prospect status skyrocket this season. These are unbelievable numbers that he's put up at AAA. First of all, the basic numbers, 9-1, and a 1.77 ERA, 0.71 WHIP, 17 walks and 112 strikeouts in 91 innings. Just staggering numbers. And that's in Pacific Coast League, which is a hitter-friendly league that's using big league baseballs this year. So, I mean, they had great numbers. Now, is he this good? There's still a lot of divided opinion on this. He was not a real high-end prospect coming into the season. Baseball America had him number 18 in the Marlins organization, which is good, but not great. And kind of projected as a back-end starter, maybe a 3 or a 4. But what's happened is, number one, this is a really confident guy bordering on arrogance, from what I understand, which is not a bad thing. Number two is his fastball velocity has spiked somewhat this year. He's been touching 97. He's got a good cutter as well. Now, his secondary stuff is iffy. So who knows whether he's going to be a long-term hit in the majors or not. One other thing here. The Cardinals are the team that drafted Gallen in the 3rd round a few years ago, and he was dealt to Miami in the Ozuna trade. So I think he's going to be really motivated here.
Yeah.
And the Cardinals are not exactly crushing the ball right now. Wainwright, coming off the DL, he's been better at home than on the road, and he's facing a terrible offense. But I think this price has gotten out of hand. It was open 159, 160. It's now in the mid-180s. The value here looks to me to be on the Marlins.
I agree 100%, and I'll tell you, quite the rotation for the future the Marlins are assembling, that's for sure. I agree with you. I think it's worth taking a flyer on Miami. Drew, my brother, what do you like?
Yeah, I mean, I can't wear the hat and not agree with you guys. So, I mean, Dave brought up a lot of great points with Zach Gallen, coming from the Cardinals in the Ozuna trade. Talk about the Yelich trade and it not really working out. Some of these guys now, because they got Alcantara, another starting pitcher here. He's pitching well this season. So if Gallen comes out, and I think he will be motivated going against the Cardinals here. He's only 23 years old, though, getting his first start, and his numbers in AAA are good. I believe it's in New Orleans. I'm not sure if that's more of a hitter's park or a pitcher's park. Dave, you could probably speak on to it more, but
it's not as severe as some of the other PCL parks, but the PCL on the whole is a big time hitters league.
Yeah, but either way, I think at this price, I agree with both of you guys. I think it's worth a shot on the Marlins. And a young pitcher, which we've talked about before, this profile, getting a big price with a top prospect, I like that kind of profile in a bet. So I like the Marlins tonight.
Let me add one quick thing, and this is kind of funny. He's deleted the tweet since. But Gallen wasn't real happy that Yamamoto got promoted from Double A ahead of him, and actually tweeted LOL at that, and he then deleted the tweet. And then they called up Hernandez also ahead of him. So this guy's going to be pumped up tonight. Now, I hope that doesn't work against him. But at the price, I think the Marlins are worth a flyer.
We're all on the same page, my brother. Chicago Cubs, boy, did they get to Giolito last night. Out of the game in 4.1 innings. Lester looked good. The Chicago Cubs are feeling it. Now they start a new series with the New York Mets, who just lost 7-2 to Atlanta. The home team here is -160. The over and under is 9. Chatwood against LeCon.
All right, enough. It's Lockett, okay?
It's Lockett, you sure?
Yeah, okay. I'm positive. I've seen enough of this guy to know it's Lockett, and he's no Lockett to get it done at the major league level.
I like the over in this game, Dave. Where are you going?
I can't argue that. Lockett has really not shown that he can pitch in the majors. And Chatwood's going to be Chatwood, I guess, for his whole career. He's got great stuff. Really great stuff. I mean, if you just look at his stuff, this guy should be a frontline starter. But he just cannot throw strikes. His ball's got so much movement on it that it goes out of the strike zone on a frequent basis. You watch his pitches. I mean, they're moving like crazy. And hitters have learned to try and lay off his stuff and take walks. So I think you're going to get lots of base runners tonight. And if you get a few timely hits, the game goes over the total.
I think the rumor is he's wearing the Wild Thing glasses tonight. Drew.
Yeah, I just real quick, the Mets lineup is a bet on for me. Last 2 weeks, over 800 team OPS. So it's Mets or pass, and it's over or pass for me in this one.
Cincinnati Reds, Dave, I just mentioned them earlier. 22 games to the under on the season already. I think they're on a 15-1 run to the under. They're playing Milwaukee, who is 7 games to the under. We got a 9.5 on tap. Cincinnati won 4 in a row, Dave. Only one of those games have gone over. Milwaukee lost 3 in a row in 5 of their last 6. But listen, I mean, I don't mean to be talking only totals today on this show, but I am just going to continue to ride the under in Cincinnati right now. It's Nelson versus Rourke. I know Nelson has been abysmal, but I see no reason why Cincinnati games just don't continue to go under. 9.5 is a big number in the NL.
Well, I'll give you one reason. Not that I'm not playing it, but in Milwaukee, they can hit at home, and Roark is a guy that can hit. Nelson has not been particularly reliable. As he'll get better as his innings build up. I mean, there's still some ring rust on Nelson. This is a bad game for me because I like the Brewers, but I really don't want to go against a team that's hot right now. It's not like the Reds are crushing the ball, but they're winning games. And Milwaukee's coming out of a bad series in San Diego and on a losing streak. If you take the streaks out of it, I'd say 135. Yeah, I'll take the Brewers. But with the winning streak on the dog, losing streak on the favorite, I don't like those. So I'm just gonna lay off the game. If I had to pick a side, I'd take Milwaukee.
To me, I think you can throw a small little parlay in with Miami and Cincinnati. I think both dogs are super live tonight. Drew?
I 100% agree with you. I'm not going to parlay them, but I am betting both sides. I like Cincinnati, grabbed them plus 125 before the show, mainly because Milwaukee, one, Dave talked about it, Nelson, his velocity was down as well. And a lot of people think, just his name, Jimmy Nelson, top line guy. But this year, he has not been good. He's let up more runs than innings pitched. Also, the fact spot-wise, Milwaukee is off an 8-game road trip. First game home. I hate that spot. Plus the fact they just flew back from San Diego on a night flight. Now they're playing today. Spot-wise, it's not good for Milwaukee. I like Rourke here. Last time out, 7 innings pitched, 2 earned runs. So I think Cincinnati at a plus price is worth a shot.
Real quick, everybody, head over to wagertalk.com. Buster Sports, perfect 3-0 in Canadian football so far to start the season, and he's got a 4-unit play up tonight on the Ottawa-Saskatchewan game. Dave, I don't know if you bet any CFL. I do.
Of course I do. I sell the games at Wager Talk.
Yeah, that's how much I pay attention to you. How many times have you put a CFL game up?
I don't play a lot, but I've done well with it.
Okay, so that's...
To me, it was an easy winner. It wasn't that easy on the scoreboard, but Winnipeg completely dominated their game last week against BC, so 1-0. I think I'm going to post one for this weekend. I'm going to make it a free play, though, when I post it, because it's not going to be a big play for me.
I'll tell you, I love betting the CFL, and it's fun to watch when you bet because there's so many long bombs in that game. It's exciting football. But Buster Sports just been outstanding in CFL with 61% in total since joining us a couple of years ago in Canadian football. And as I said, on a 3-0 run with a play up tonight. Dave, Minnesota, 48-25 on the season, playing a lowly Kansas City team, 25-49. 76% of the tickets today so far written on the Twinkies. They're a road team at -200. We got over and under of 9.5. And Kansas City on a 3-1 run. Minnesota, a 1-3 run.
Well, against slightly different competition.
To say the least.
I mean, the Twins faced the Red Sox, who are still pretty dangerous, and the Royals faced the Mariners.
Yeah, Odorizzi's pitching incredible.
Odorizzi's been fantastic.
Yeah, 10-2 on the season.
His pitching coach who came out of the college ranks and did some tweaking with his stride. He changed Odorizzi's stride, and the guy's had great results. You know, Sprockman has actually been quite good for Kansas City. He's been their best pitcher. And I think you can make a case that this total seems a little bit high.
I was just going to say exactly that. 9.5 seems crazy to me.
Now. I'm actually seeing 10s. They're betting it up, which is easy to understand with the Twins' tremendous offense. But I wouldn't be shocked if Sprockman goes out there and pitches a decent game, and I have no desire to go against Odorizzi at all. So maybe a lean to the under. It's not going to – I play almost no totals anyway because I'm better at sides than totals. But I'd lean slightly to the under.
I play a lot of totals, and I like the under in this game a lot. And William Hill does have a 10 on the board. Drew, where are you going in this one?
Sidewise, I just think it's a little bit too expensive here on Minnesota, even though, at a -110 price, I would take the Twins. And the Royals bullpen can be a little shaky. That's one thing that scares me on the under. But, if you made me bet the total, I would be on the under, but I haven't touched this game.
Dave, we talk a lot about Charlie Morton, 8-1 on the season. 2-3 weeks ago, you were calling him the best pitcher in baseball.
He's pitching great now. He's cooled off a little bit.
Yeah, it's funny. He's cooled off. His last 3 starts, 1.8 ERA, 0.8 WHIP, 2-1. I let that be a cooling off. Look, against the LA Angels on his last start, 6 innings pitched. It wasn't a masterpiece, but this guy is still on fire. And Tampa Bay, I think, has a better team than Oakland. It's not, I think, they do. I'm getting a short price with Morton here at -105 to 110, and I'm taking it regardless of the fact that Tampa Bay just got swept by the Yankees.
That's the troubling factor to me. That was a really bad series for the Rays. And I just wonder if their confidence might be a little bit shaken because they got their tails kicked at Yankee Stadium. And yesterday was a total disaster with Blake Snell walking the ballpark, giving up a 3-run homer, and lasting less than 1 inning. And by the way, fix Blake Snell. And the way you fix him, start throwing the fastball again. His fastball usage is down to 41% this year. So there's either something physically wrong with Snell that we're not aware of, or he's just not throwing what he's supposed to throw. He's supposed to work off his fastball. That was just awful yesterday. He's also taking forever between pitches. So something's going on with Snell. I don't know what. Charlie Morton he's been their best guy. And if somebody's going to get him on track, it's Morton. He's got a tough opponent tonight in Frankie Montas, and that's why the price is where it is. The A's have gotten the money so far. It's open 105 either way, and it's still somewhat the same price, but I'm seeing 110, even a 113 at one of the offshores now. So there's a little money showing on Tampa, on Oakland, I should say. I don't really know what to do with this game. I kind of want to see what Tampa's mindset is after getting their ass kicked at Yankee Stadium. So this will be a pass for me.
Yeah, and Montez, I mean, just matching Morton pitch for pitch, 9-2 on the season, 2.8 ERA. It's going to be a pitcher's duel, but I can't bet under 7.5 in an American League game. So I'm passing total-wise. But, Drew, I do still lean towards Tampa Bay.
I actually like Oakland here, Prez, and you guys bring up Montez. He's been good. He's got his changeup working this year. He has more wins this year than his previous 3 years all combined. 19 Ks in his last 12 innings pitched. He's pitching it well. Arm doing good. Charlie Morton on the other side, he's been good, but he has cooled off a little bit. But still under a 1 WHIP, like you touched on. It's just the Rays. This is a tough spot going out to the West Coast. They just got swept by the Yankees. Plus the fact Yandy Diaz, one of their better bats, 11 home runs, over an 800 OPS on the season. He just hit the IL, so they lost the bat there. I like Oakland tonight at a short price at home.
Baltimore, 21-53. My God, 12-25 away. That's a hell of a lot better than their home record. Playing a terrible Seattle team, 32-46. Seattle minus 140, give or take. Baltimore has lost 8 games in a row. And Seattle, kudos to them. They put up a W last night, 8-2 win against Kansas City. Bundy versus LeBlanc. And that is a French name.
Yes, it is.
So, yeah, that's where I'm at. LeBlanc. Talk to me,
We don't
Dave.
know. The Seattle will use an opener in this game. So I want to get my line screen back up. It went down on me. Give me 1 second here so I can get this up. Yeah, I don't know where you're seeing that 140. I have no lines in this game.
No, I don't see a one. I have 140. Oh, you have 0 lines?
Oh, because we don't know who's pitching for Seattle. LeBlanc's going to be in the game, but they haven't posted anything because Seattle's going to go with an opener, and as usual, Scott Service isn't saying who it is. So there's no numbers.
Okay, well, I've got just the average number, so let's use that.
You can't bet it.
Okay.
There is one minus 140 at Chris right now at Bookmaker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But that's the only one.
Okay. I usually use the Vegas shops and a couple of offshores on my screen. I don't have those. And right now it's not up here. But when it goes up, good luck whichever side you want.
Okay.
There's no chance I'll be involved.
Let's skip this game, boys. Last game on the docket, San Francisco against the Dodgers. Dodgers with a 9-2 win last night, 9-0 the night before. That's 18 runs in 2 games. They're minus 180. The over and under is 7.5. It's Madison versus Julio. Dave, what do you like?
The interesting thing here is Bumgarner's going to be really pumped up for this because this will probably, based on looking at the schedule, this will probably be his last start against the Dodgers as a Giant because he's not going to finish the season with San Francisco. He's going to get traded, and he's going to be fired up for this. That's not enough of a reason for me to take the Giants. I'm just mentioning it because whatever's left in the tank for Bumgarner, it's going to show in this game. It's going to be a bullpen game for the Dodgers. Urias will get the start, and then we'll see who comes in after that. I think it's priced about right. It's a little cheap for the Dodgers at home against a bad Giants team at 175, but I can't really recommend the Dodgers because I think Bumgarner could throw he could throw a real good game tonight. It wouldn't surprise me if he does. So if you want to peek at the under based on that logic, might not be the worst thing of all time.
Drew Martin from sportsmemo.com. What do you like?
Yeah, I agree with Dave. Looking towards the under, it's just sometimes with this Dodgers lineup, it's tough to bet those unders, even though what a night game on the West Coast in Dodger Stadium. Bumgarner, I agree with Dave. I think he's going to be pumped up. Plus the fact that Giants have played the Dodgers pretty well. At this plus price, I would lean towards the Giants, but another game I didn't touch as of right now, Prez.
He's Drew Martin. I'm the Prez. Dave Cokin with us. First pitch in the bag. Tomorrow's show, Friday. Dave Cokin, Brian Leonard, and myself look forward to that. Best of luck, everybody, tonight. And make sure to head over to wagertalk.com and check out Buster Sports' Canadian Football League play 3-0 to start the season. Dave and Drew, thanks, brothers. We'll speak to you. Drew will see you next week, and Dave will see you tomorrow.
Sounds good, guys.
Best of luck, guys.